Hello and welcome to Froch on Fighting. I'm Carl Froch. Whilst I've got you, please hit subscribe. Don't forget to like and share this video with your friends. Right, I'm going to do a reaction video to Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou last night. What a fight it turned out to be.
So, Carl, what did you think of the fight last night?
I thought the fight was really, really good. I've got to be honest. I, like everybody else, thought the fight was going to be a mismatch. How can Francis Ngannou come from the mixed martial art world, step into the professional boxing ring, and put a performance against the best heavyweight in the world, arguably the best heavyweight in the world? I had a little chat with George Groves earlier on my show on TalkSport called The Verdict, so have a look at that. George Groves thinks that Usyk is the best heavyweight in the world. I think Tyson Fury is too big for him. But anyway, Francis Ngannou got in there and put on an absolute sterling performance. It was just such a good performance. It was boxing well balanced. I didn't think he'd have the ability. After watching Conor McGregor against Mayweather, which is probably a bad example of a crossover fight because Mayweather's so good. He does that to top fighters, what he did to Conor McGregor. But Ngannou was in the fight. He was moving his head well. He was well balanced. He wasn't reaching over it. Don't get me wrong. He's not a fully fledged, established professional boxer. I don't know if I'd put him in there with the other top 3 or 4 fighters, but I don't know. I mean, he just performed really, really well, and he gave Tyson Fury one hell of a tough night's work. He was landing shots. He was landing the bigger, harder, hurtful shots, and he dropped Tyson Fury, and nobody expected him to even get near Fury, and he dropped him. So the fact that I'm having a conversation with myself at the minute. I know my wife's there, Rachel, but what I'm trying to get at is Ngannou boxed brilliantly. I thought he won the fight. I scored it that he won the fight 2 or 3 rounds, at least 2 rounds, and with the knockdown, I thought he deserved to get his hand held at the end of the fight. Nobody expected it. I certainly didn't expect it. Ngannou did really, really well. It was good balance, good head movement. He wasn't getting caught with anything flush. Fury came out and tried to stick it straight on him. Ngannou wasn't phased. He was able to take the punches off Fury. He was getting peppered with a jab throughout quite a lot of the fights. And if you look at the CompuBox statistics, which is where the American CompuBox, they count the punches landed. Tyson Fury landed more punches throughout the duration of the fight, but a lot of them were jabs. So if the argument would be, well, if he landed more punches, surely he won, Fury. Well, no, that's not the case because it's subjective. If Fury lands 10 jabs in one round and peppers the jab in Ngannou's face, which he did in some rounds, but Ngannou then lands a big right hand or pushes him back and manhandles him and lands a couple of big body shots or an uppercut up close, which he did a few times, then who wins the round? The guy behind the jab or the guy landing the big right hands? For me, it's the guy landing the big hurtful shots, not the guy landing the jab. But one judge will see it one way, another judge will see it another way. I just thought Ngannou was well in the fight, which I didn't expect him to be. I thought he actually did enough to win. And with the knockdown, what a shocker. Left hook counter. 1-2 came his way. The right hand came and he countered that left hook. And it was crisp on the side of the head of Fury and put him down. Fury didn't know what he was doing or where he was. I don't know if it was a bad performance from Fury or just a really flattering performance from Ngannou. But
This is what I wanted to ask then. So why do you think Ngannou was able to have so much success during the fight? Well, you did say it was going to be a mismatch.
Listen, I did say it was going to be a mismatch, and I totally rubbished it and thought this is not going to be a boxing match. It's going to be a one-sided whooping. And it wasn't. Was that because Tyson Fury was so bad? Well, listen, he's not boxed for nearly a year. I don't think having a year out of professional ring is ever good. It's too long. But he fights once or twice at the most a year. A lot of the heavyweights do. Anthony Joshua's the same. I don't think it's enough. But if that's what you're going to do and that's what you're used to doing, you've got to get in there and you've got to do the job. I just thought Ngannou was a lot better than what anybody else thought. Yeah. And I thought up close, where Tyson Fury usually, let's take his Deontay Wilder fights, for example. Up close with Deontay Wilder, he gets hold of him, leans on him, pushes him down. Wilder's around about 15 and a half stone mark, I think. He's around about that weight. So he's not massive. And Fury's always 18 and a half, 19 stone. And he's able to lean on his opponent and bully him and push him around. Every time Ngannou and Fury came together, Ngannou was able to manhandle him. He's got that mixed martial arts, that jiu-jitsu kind of style up close. So he was able to push Fury off, get hold of him up close, manhandle him a little bit. So Fury wasn't able to have his wicked way with Ngannou like he has with his previous opponents. Ngannou out-muscled him. It was probably too strong for him, but he was also quick with the counter. He was waiting for the counter punch. And that counter left hook he dropped Fury with was a beautiful, crisp, clean shot. My head was telling me he should go for the finish. If he wants to get the win, maybe go for the finish now. And he never did. But he sat back and boxed tidily enough. thought Tyson Fury, I don't want to say Tyson Fury was awful because that takes away from Ngannou. Tyson Fury was okay. He was sharp behind the jab. He was throwing the 1-2. He was looking for shots, but Ngannou was beating him to the counter punch, and it was getting the better of him. Like I said, 2 or 3 rounds on my card, I had Ngannou winning it. With the knockdown on the card, that seals the deal for me. Tyson Fury got beat, and I think that was a bad decision. And I'm not going to say it was a blatant robbery because a lot of the rounds were close, and I've seen worse decisions. But for me, Francis Ngannou won that fight.
So based on that performance then, do you now think Ngannou can mix it at top level in the heavyweight division?
Listen, I think he's shown that he can mix it at top level. Would you put him in there with Anthony Joshua? Yes. Would you put him in there with Usyk? Well, Usyk's far superior skill-wise and a far more talented natural boxer, because let's not forget, Ngannou's not a boxer, he's a mixed martial arts cage fighter. But he's shown last night he can box. He's a big puncher. And if you look at the size difference between Ngannou and Usyk for me is a bloody good fight. It's one I want to watch. But let's not take our eye off the ball of what's actually happening here. I think the reason that the fight was in Tyson Fury's favour last night was purely because this fight they've been talking about on the 23rd of December. Bricktop's announced it, 23rd of December. Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, unification fight. Undisputed, that's what we want to see, and that's what we should be getting. And that's the reason I think that Ngannou didn't get the nod last night. And for me, it's corruption. Oh. It's corruption at the highest level. They've gone out to Saudi Arabia, all that money's on the line, everything's geared towards the big fight with Fury Usyk, and Ngannou gets in there and puts a proper spanner in the works. He gave Tyson Fury a bit of a beating, dropped him, made him look stupid, and he's a novice professional. When Tyson Fury got out of the ring, his left eye was closing. He got a small cut above his head. He looked like he'd been beat up. And I know that doesn't always tell the story of the fight. Ngannou was unmarked. And can I just say as well, what a gentleman Ngannou is. So magnanimous in defeat. He was just like, he thought he'd won. He didn't bitch and moan about it. He held himself
did himself proud. That
was really did do himself. He did himself, his country and his family proud because he put on an absolutely brilliant performance. I thought he deserved the win and he didn't bitch and moan about it. What does Tyson Fury do now? What's he going to do? Is he going to fight Usyk now on the 23rd of December? I don't see how he's going to now go on the back of that loss. I know he got the decision, but for me it was a loss. Go on the back of that loss and then jump in there with Usyk on the 23rd of December. He's talking about, I'm not bothered about my legacy. All I want to do is earn money. And he's got plenty of that now. But it's a good job he's not bothered about his legacy because you know what? At the minute, his legacy's in tatters. Because his best win's Klitschko, and 2 with Deontay Wilder, 2 wins. The other fight with Deontay Wilder was a draw. And then who else is a standout name on his record? A couple of gatekeepers, but nobody else. And now he's gone in there and he's been beat up by Ngannou. The fans are already turning on him. And now they're going to be saying, hang on a minute, Ngannou was robbed. And 99.9% of people feeding back on social media and on the networks are all saying Ngannou was robbed. So they're going to be even more pissed off with Fury.
On that note, then, should he take the rematch with Ngannou?
Well, that's a great fight. I mean, I think Francis Ngannou deserves a rematch with Fury based on that performance. Over 99%, which means that almost everybody is saying Ngannou won the fight. So there lies the really justification for an immediate rematch. But you've got the complications and the problems with Usyk sitting there waiting for his December 23rd shot. I don't think Tyson Fury fights Usyk on the 23rd of December. I think he's going to want some more time. I'm hearing that he said he's got to think about what he's doing now. I don't know if he did a really small post-fight press conference. I can't see much of comments of Tyson Fury following on from that fight. I'm not seeing much. So
apparently
he knows.
He didn't do one.
No, his dad John was like, the post-fight press conference is off. Why is that off? They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to be put under criticism. They don't want to answer the questions. It's turned into a bit of a fiasco, this whole professional boxing at top level, especially in heavyweights. It's all going a bit mad, and it's.
It was a big event, though. Everybody was there.
Listen, the event was great.
John's dad was playing up again as usual.
John was losing the plot. Listen, the Saudis put on an unbelievable show. Pyrotechnics, the show they put on before the ring. It was getting late. I don't know how late it was out there, but I was sat up till half 11, 12 o'clock, still watching the fight, and it did drag on. Every man and his dog was there. Every face in the game was there. Every name. The Cobra went out there. But listen, the Cobra was invited out there. But I take my time with my family and kids very seriously. And I wasn't prepared to go out to Saudi and watch what I thought was going to be a mismatch and a big mockery. So I kind of wish I went out there to see it live because it looked like a good fight. But I enjoyed it anyway. What did you say? I've lost my rhythm. Where was we?
John, we're talking about John.
Oh, John Fury. Come on, let me just mention big John Fury. Fighting man, 6-0 on the hard road. Anybody wants a fight, they can have it. I'll bomb you. What was all that about? Sorry, I don't want to lower the tone. What was he doing at the KSI fight? And what's he doing threatening to chin everyone? If he chins anybody, all right, let's not forget, he's been in jail before. He's been in prison before for fighting. He's probably on licence. If he hits anybody, he's going straight back to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200. And there was a guy called Mickey Theo as well who stuck it on him and who wanted to fight him. And he got blanked. And John Fury went quiet for ages. A couple of years he went quiet, ignoring Mickey Theo. Listen, I'm not here to write off John Fury. He's part of the script. He's part of the narrative. He plays his game. But I'm getting sick, like a lot of people are. I'm getting sick of listening to his absolute bullshit. He's talking nonsense. He's embarrassing to watch. And I think Tyson Fury, if he's serious about boxing now moving forward, he's got to tidy his team up and get his head straight, because that performance against Ngannou last night has done him no favours in terms of his fan base, in terms of people who are backing him and want him to do well. People are now turning on him. And he's saying, like I said earlier, he's not bothered about legacy, he's just bothered about money. Well, it's a good thing that he's not bothered about legacy, because, like I said again earlier, his legacy is in tatters. He can't retire after that fight there. He can't turn it in. But he just might do. He might just think to himself, you know what, I've got 150 million, whatever he keeps bragging about, in the bank. I don't need any more money. I don't need this. I'm going to turn it in. But for his legacy, he needs to fight Usyk. I can't see that fight happening on the 23rd of December. I think it's into next year. But before then, I think Francis Ngannou deserves a rematch because he won that fight. So that's it for another episode of Froch on fighting. Don't forget, that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this wonderful boxing channel. See you next time.